One of the best smart lights available today is the Govee Uplighter floor lamp, and it's now a lot better. This lamp has this beautiful mood light. It also has a side ring light and the very useful reading light. But when it launched, you could only turn on one of the mood light and the reading lamp, so you had to pick how you were feeling. But today, when you go into the device and you get the prompt to update your firmware, do that and you'll get the feature to turn on any two of the three lights, which means you can make it look like this. You also have individual brightness control for the ripple lights and the lower lights, so you can really customize how it looks now. This is just one of the new features that you can use in your smart home today, but not everyone's gonna have that lamp, so don't worry, I have a bunch of other features that are brand new. Let's get it. This new feature makes automations in Google Home much more useful. Of course, we've come to expect with Google that it's a bit of a work in progress, so not everything's there. When you head into automations in the Google Home app, you might find yourself faced with this new look of an automation page. Starters and actions are essentially the same as they ever were, but you won't find every option there from the previous version of automations. Google has to finalize this new form. What's really different here though are the conditions. You can add conditions that stop your automation from running at times where you don't want it to run. Here's an automation that you couldn't have created in the past version of the Google Home app. It's restricting my lights to turn on when I'm in the room and when one of us is at home. Plus, it's also time constrained so that lights only come on when we need it. Google also added an option for one-time use automation. So if you want something automated to happen a single time and then never happen again, you can do that. I haven't seen this kind of a feature from many makers before. And I think this will cause a lot of companies to respond, or at least I think they should. Aqara's latest video doorbell called the G410 is on the front of my home, and when I updated the firmware there, I found that they had given me a brightness control setting for the video I'm getting out of the camera. Even better, I have a brightness setting for the daytime and a brightness setting for night vision. It's easy to set up through the app and it allows you to customize how it looks between the day and the night. This is going to be very important for a lot of people to get their footage looking right in both situations. Personally, I'd like to see this feature actually go another step further. I'd like to see it in the automation system so that at dusk I can change the brightness of the video I'm getting. Robot vacuums have been an interesting addition to smart home apps. In most cases, integration's pretty bad. At the best of times, we've had voice control to start and stop robots. A few years ago, there were a few units that could be sent to specific rooms, but it's few and far in between. And if you're someone who uses Apple HomeKit, for example, controlling your robot vacuum in the Home app has been pretty tough. SwitchBot just released a couple of new vacuums, and they're including Matter on both of them. We've also seen a few other brands bring Matter to their robot vacuums, and so nowadays, when you're buying a robot vacuum, I think it's important to understand that this Matter experience could be part of your experience. The Google Home web app has a lot of updates in it. Now, in the past, you could come in, review your cameras, you could review automations, and even build some automations with a scripting capability here in the web app at home.google.com. But now we have the Devices tab, and the Devices tab actually has quite a bit of control on it. So, for example, I can take my whole backyard lighting situation, I can click and hold and drag that along to change the brightness. I can also go in and adjust individual lights. Here in front of me, you can see it's kind of red here. I'm going to turn down my gaming AI sync box from Govee, and you can see that adjustment actually happens pretty quick around here. Other devices like your smart door locks, this is a really great example. They've actually put in that pin and you can type that in. And depending on your device, certain cameras, they're still not supported. So those kinds of things haven't changed, but we are seeing other details, other data in here, like I saw there's the temperature for my Hue outdoor motion sensor. And those things are coming into the interface, and you do have a lot more control and information now. Today's video sponsor is Tapo. We've shown you many of their cameras and other smart home gear over the years, and they always offer excellent performance at a really competitive price. Today, we want to introduce the Tapo Hybrid Cam Duo, which looks a lot like a Wally, but it's actually two 2K cameras. One of them is a fixed wide angle camera and the other is a 360-degree pan and tilt camera. This is a true home surveillance solution, and in the past when I've shown you cameras from Tapo, we've shown you how good the people and the pet and the vehicle detection truly is. The adaptable night vision is some of the best in the industry, and all of this comes in a package for just $69.99. There are also good local storage options, and all of the best features on this camera can be done without a subscription. Check out the links below in the description, and there's even a discount code for you for the new Tapo Hybrid Cam Duo. Everyone wants an easy, beautiful control screen that they can simply tap on or click on to control their whole home. But in a lot of cases, it takes a lot of effort to build a great dashboard. With September's Home Assistant update, 25.9.x, whatever they're on, you can build a new dashboard that basically builds itself. They call it an experimental dashboard, and you can get there by going into the settings, dashboards, and then creating a new home dashboard. But let me show you how you use this. So I'm in the settings for Home Assistant. I'm gonna go down to dashboards and I'm gonna hit add a dashboard over on the right. I know you guys can't see that, but right here, Home Experimental, this is the new dashboard. And as you create it, you give it a title. You can even create your own URL. I've already done this and I've already set it as my default dashboard. Now, what you get when you first come in is it kind of looks like this. So you have the summaries. You can go in, you can control all your different lights here. So I'll turn off all the lights really quickly here in here. You see how it's not blue anymore? Really quick control of your lights. You also have the same thing in climate, in security. You can look at all your locks. You can adjust all of your locks. You can see here, that's my lock Ultra from SwitchBot. And media players, you know, these look really great when you start media on one of your speakers or your devices. You get this nice little interface, lots of great stuff. And then there's the areas. So for, again, our example here, we can turn off, adjust the lights in here. You can see that's happening. Very quick response, and you can do this per area in your home. Now down here at the bottom, we can see there's a weather dashboard and an energy distribution dashboard, and then a quick link to the energy dashboard itself. Up at the top, how I got these things here is I hit this little edit dashboard, and you're just adding favorite entities. So you can pick anything from your home. I would say, you know, maybe you want to use presence sensors for people in your home, or things like your door lock, like I've done, and you can bring those right to the front and you know, work with those things. So this is a great new experimental dashboard from the folks at Home Assistant. Easy to create, easy to use. With the same update that happened in September with Home Assistant, we also got another big change, and I really like this one. I think it's a lot more important than kind of people are giving it credit for. In the past, when you made an automation with Home Assistant, they could get very long, and it could be a bit of a daunting thing to read through your automations. When I hit the add trigger button now on a trigger, a condition, or an action, get this interface on the side, and this seems like, yeah, just a little difference, but this cleans up the whole automation interface for me. Once you're done, once you're happy with an automation, you can kind of close it like that, click back in anytime, and if you need the options, they're still all here. You can click the little 3 dots there. I really like this new interface, and I think it makes it a lot easier to understand your automation. Speaking of automation engines, well, Homey has one of the most useful automation features that have shown up suddenly in their app. Bear with me as I try to explain this one, okay? Because this new feature called sustained values is one of the most difficult things to do with most smart home apps today. When you're building an automation and you choose the when or the trigger for the automation, many of your devices or services will have this option to check if something has been the case for a time period. I'm going to show you this on the web interface a little bit, okay? So I'm in the Homey Advanced Flow Editor, and it's not only in Advanced Flows that you get this, but right here you can see power becomes greater than a certain number of watts for a time. So, you know, for example, if we're at 5,000 watts of consumption in our whole home, this is an energy meter I have in mind, and we've been doing that for 10 well, I don't want seconds, I want minutes, then maybe we start to shut down things. I've expanded this situation a little bit. Now you can see that when power becomes greater than 5,000 watts for 10 minutes, I'm gonna set the dryer to stop. So we're kind of trying to bring down the power usage all at one time. Now, if it continues on for another 10 minutes, we go a full 20 minutes, I'm gonna turn off all the heaters in the basement. Obviously you can set your own time frames here, but this is very powerful for energy consumption. And I've created another example. I think this is a very useful case again. So I have a door and window sensor that has a temperature sensor on it. If it becomes greater than 22 Celsius for 10 minutes, that's 600 seconds, then I'm gonna set my air conditioner temperature down to 18 degrees. These are super useful automations, and they were something that was very difficult to create in the past. Keep in mind though, you know, not every device you're gonna have. Here's an example. I have an Aqara dimmer switch. That doesn't have an option for this kind of thing. There's lots of devices out there that don't have this option today, and you won't really find it on the and side of things or the condition side of things. At least I haven't found it that way yet. So now, your triggers can be time-based, and I think this is going to be especially good with devices like presence sensors and energy monitors. Just make sure you've updated the mobile app and your hub. One of the best new features available for smart homes right now requires that you go get a new hub. Now that new hub is the Philips Hue Pro Bridge, and the new feature is called Hue Motion Aware. Your lights will turn on automatically as you enter a room with Hue lighting in it. If you want to see more about that and the new exciting lights that Philips Hue released, along with that new bridge, check out the video that's up on screen where we go through 12 big announcements that came from the smart home industry just before this video. We'll talk about a ton of incredible features and products that just came out in that video. Otherwise, thanks for watching today, and of course, live smart.